What could possibly be so funny that even the ever-graceful Sun Ye-jin couldn't stop laughing? Her eyes sparkling with pure joy? Witness the moment when little Alkong delivers a joke so unexpectedly hilarious that it leaves Hyun Bin both stunned and amused. This is not just a family moment, it's a scene worthy of a red carpet spotlight. Join Red Carpet Revealed as we uncover the story behind the laughter and the joke that stole everyone's hearts. The late afternoon sun slanted through the tall windows of the quiet living room, painting golden streaks on the polished wooden floor. Outside, the city hummed faintly, but inside, the world felt as if it belonged only to three people: Hyun Bin, Sun Ye-jin, and their lively little boy, Alkong. It was supposed to be an ordinary day, no cameras, no scripts, no flashbulbs, just family. But in the most unexpected way, that calm afternoon would soon turn into one of those treasured memories they would carry for a lifetime. A moment that even weeks later would still make Sun Ye-jin laugh until her eyes teared up. She had been curled up on the cream-colored sofa, a cup of warm tea cradled between her hands, watching her husband as he leafed through a thick script. Signs of concentration on Hyun Bin's face were familiar to her, that quiet intensity he brought into every role. The way he seemed to step halfway into character even before the cameras rolled. Alkong, on the other hand, Bin sprawled on the rug, surrounded by his toys, building and dismantling a small wooden train with the determination of a tiny engineer. Every so often, he would glance up, eyes flicking between his parents, clearly sensing the atmosphere but not yet sure how to disturb it. It started innocently. Alkong padded over to his father, clutching a toy in one hand and something mischievous flickering in his eyes. He climbed onto the couch beside him, peering at the script as if he could read it. "What are you doing, Daddy?" he asked in his small, sweet voice. Hyun Bin smiled without looking up. "Just reading, buddy." But Alkong wasn't done. He pointed to a random line on the page and, in an exaggeratedly deep voice that was a clear imitation of his father's screen persona, began to read a line that didn't exist. Only instead of the actual words, he replaced them with something absurdly funny, calling Sun Ye-jin my queen of snacks, and announcing that Daddy needs more cookies before he can save the world. For a heartbeat, there was silence. Hyun Bin froze, script in hand, blinking at his son as if he wasn't sure he'd heard right. Then the corners of his mouth twitched. But before he could respond, a peal of laughter rang out from across the room. Sun Ye-jin doubled over, clutching her side, her teacup wobbling dangerously as she gasped for air. "Oh my God. Alkong, what did you just say?" she managed between bursts of laughter. The sheer innocence of her son's face, with the absurdity of the line, had completely undone her. Her laughter filled the room, light and unrestrained, the kind that pulls everyone else into its orbit. Hyun Bin, for his part, shook his head with mock seriousness, setting the script aside. "Did you even learn to say that?" he asked. His voice betrayed his amusement. Alkong only grinned. Proud of himself. "I made it up. Mommy laughs when I'm funny," he declared. It was the perfect delivery, as though he'd been waiting all along to see just how far he could push the joke. Sun Ye-jin's cheeks were flushed from laughing, sparkling as she exchanged a look with her husband that said, "This is one for the books." The moment didn't end there. Their housekeeper, sitting by the doorway, paused to see what the commotion was about. And when she heard the retelling, she chuckled softly. Later, a friend of the couple who dropped by that evening would hear the story and burst into laughter as well. It was harmless, pure, with the kind of humor only a child could conjure, and that slipped past all defenses and found its way straight to the heart. Over the next few days, the joke became something of an inside reference between Sun Ye-jin and Hyun Bin. Whenever he was in the middle of reading or doing something serious, she'd lean in with a mischievous smile and whisper, "Do you need more cookies before you can save the world?" And each time, Hyun Bin would sigh dramatically, playing along, while Alkong looked on with the satisfied expression of a comedian whose material had landed perfectly. As light-hearted as it was, the moment hinted at something deeper. For Sun Ye-jin, it was a rare gift to see her husband's usually composed face caught off guard, to feel the warmth of family life wrap itself around her like a soft blanket. In the whirlwind of their careers, such simple, unfiltered moments were precious. And for Hyun Bin, it was a reminder that his most important role wasn't on a screen, but right there in their living room, Script forgotten. His son's laughter echoing in his ears. By the weekend, word of the joke had somehow slipped beyond their immediate circle. It began innocently, with that same friend casually mentioning it during a gathering. The story had just the right blend of celebrity intrigue and everyday humor to catch fire. Soon, fan pages started speculating about what Alkong had said. Some imagined elaborate punchlines. Others guessed it had something to do with a movie role. The truth remained in the family, for now. But the seed of curiosity had been planted. The internet buzzed with playful debates. He must have inherited his dad's timing, one fan wrote. Or maybe his mom's wit, another countered. Memes popped up featuring photos of Hyun looking serious, captioned with cookie-related jokes. A brief moment. This tiny slice of their private life had bridged the gap between superstar glamour and the everyday joy of parenting. And in the middle of it all, son Ye-jin was still laughing. Days later, she'd recall the scene and smile to herself. That afternoon had been unplanned, unrehearsed. Absolutely perfect. And though the world was clamoring to know more, she felt no urgency to rush the reveal. After all, some stories are sweeter when savored slowly. Had only grown. By now, it wasn't just fan pages but mainstream entertainment outlets wondering about a mysterious joke that had made son Ye-jin laugh so hard. The couple's agencies, as expected, maintained a polite silence, leaving room for speculation to swirl. But within the walls of their home, the joke had already evolved into something even more legendary. On a quiet morning not long after, Hyun sat at the dining table, sipping his coffee while scanning a few scripts. Alkong wandered in, humming to himself, and without a word, climbed onto his father's lap. At the papers, then looked straight at him with the most serious expression a child could muster. "Daddy," he said solemnly, "are you ready to save the world, or do we need more cookies first?" Son Ye-jin, passing by with a plate of toast, caught the exchange and immediately burst into another fit of laughter. It was as if the joke had gained a life of its own, up in the most unexpected moments to dissolve any trace of formality. That was when the couple decided to finally share the real story with a few trusted friends over dinner. Between bites of grilled fish and sips of wine, son Ye-jin recounted the original scene, complete with her imitation of Alkong's tiny deep voice. The table erupted in laughter, some clutching their sides, others wiping tears from their eyes. One friend, a fellow actor, remarked, "If he's this good now, imagine what he'll be like in school plays." Hyun just shook his head, smiling with quiet pride. It didn't take long before the joke's exact words, "my queen of snacks" and the cookie line, made their way into the public sphere. When fans finally heard it, the response was even bigger than expected. The phrase trended on social media for hours, with countless variations and playful edits. One particularly popular video showed a montage of Hyunbin's most serious on-screen moments, each abruptly interrupted by the cookie punchline. It was irresistible, and so was the warmth behind it. But beyond the viral fun, there was something about this little story that resonated with people. Perhaps it was the reminder that even the most celebrated figures could be brought to their knees by a child's unfiltered humor. Or maybe it was the way it peeled back the curtain on a marriage that fans had long admired, showing that their love wasn't just built on red carpets and movie premieres, but on quiet afternoons, shared jokes, mutual adoration for the little boy who connected them in ways fame never could. For son Ye-jin, the experience was more than just a funny family anecdote. In interviews that followed, she spoke about the joy Alkong brought into their lives, about how his curiosity and wit constantly surprised them. "He reminds us to slow down," she said softly, "to enjoy these moments before they pass. One day, he'll be grown, and we'll miss the sound of his little voice making silly jokes." Listened as she spoke, the laughter giving way to the tenderness that often lingers in a mother's heart. Hyun, too, found himself reflecting on the power of laughter in their home. Between film shoots, press tours, and the endless demands of their profession, it was easy to let stress seep into daily life. But Alkong had a way of cutting through all of it. "Can't be too serious when your son is calling your wife the queen of snacks," he admitted with a chuckle during a rare public appearance. Fans roared with amusement. The story by then already beloved by fans. And yet, as much as the outside world embraced the humor, it remained deeply personal to the family. Came their touchstone, A shared memory to lean on during long separations or challenging days. Sometimes, when Hyun was away filming abroad, Jin would text him a simple message, "Need cookies before you save the world," and across the miles, he would smile, picturing his son's face and his wife's laughter. And the joke wasn't just a fleeting burst of humor. It was a snapshot of a life built not on grand gestures, but on countless small, perfect moments. Kind that slip by unnoticed unless you stop to feel them. For all the fame, the awards, and the headlines, it was this, an afternoon in their living room. Sunlight on the floor, laughter ringing in the air, that they would carry with them always. And so, the story lived on, woven into the fabric of their family. Sometimes told aloud, sometimes just exchanged in a glance between two people who understood exactly what it meant. Son Ye-jin couldn't stop laughing that day. Perhaps she never really did, because in that single, silly, perfect moment, everything that mattered most was right there, and the world, cookies or not, could wait. With that, our little journey into the heart of the Bin-jin household comes to a close. From a mischievous line about cookies to the sound of Son Ye-jin's unstoppable laughter, we've witnessed how the simplest moments can become timeless treasures. It's a reminder that behind every spotlight is a home, and behind every glamorous smile is a story of love and laughter. Until we meet again for another peek behind the curtains of their lives. Keep smiling, keep laughing. Never underestimate the magic of a family joke. Goodbye for now. From all of us at Red Carpet Reveal.